What is going on? I am Cole and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know what this video is, I'm going to tell you about my most anticipated comics for the week of February 1st, 2023. If you want to see what those are, make sure you stick through this intro.
Most anticipated comic books. Most anticipated comic books from Cole.
And thank you for sticking through that. And for those of you who are new here, this is a video where I talk about what I'm looking forward to on New Comic Book Day. I always use League of Comic Geeks. The reason I like to show this site off is because there are certain times where maybe what I say or pick is not accurate. I get most of my information from here, and while this is a very good site, it is not always perfect, and sometimes there are delays, there are printer shortages, or other things that makes it that what I tell you might not actually come out. I don't try to do that intentionally. It's just this is how I do my research. It is the easiest place for me to find all the books that I'm looking for, and that's kind of where I get my information. Now, when I talk about these books, I usually break it up into two different types of categories. The first one is stuff that's either ongoing or a continuation and is not necessarily a number one. And then I try and break up the number ones. The reason that I do this is I just think it's a little bit easier for people to follow. And if, you just want to skip through these, these ongoings, you can just skip through them or something like that. So let's get to the first book. The first book that I'm going to talk about for New Comic Book Day is going to be The Approach number 4. This is coming from Boom Studio. This is from writer combo of Jason A. Hurley and Jeremy Hahn and artist Jesus Hervas. And I really like this. So this is just a pretty straightforward monster book that kind of is dealing in the middle of a blizzard, so it's something that I can loosely relate to living in the Midwest. But so far, this book has been pretty good. I know that I had issue 3 on here as like hey, maybe I should catch up and read this. So I have caught up and I've read it. So I've had a fun time with this. I think this is going to be a good book. And if you're into that monster kind of adventure sort of book, this is a great one because I think it really focuses on the monster. And there is more scary elements to this maybe than some of the other books that are coming out in a similar fashion. The next book I want to talk about is Children of the Black Sun, number 2. This is from a Blaze comic. This is from writer Dario Saccheto and artist Lesia Candoncia. I definitely butchered that name, and I'm so sorry for that. But I really, really enjoy the art in this book. It is one of the things that kind of got me. I know that it might not be for everyone. Children of the Black Sun is another kind of weird horror book. Essentially, these black suns come, and during them, people go crazy. The people that are born have white hair, black eyes. During the second Black Sun, there was a bunch of murders and deaths that happened, and there's maybe approaching a third one. So what are we going to get? The first episode really gave you a good story to get into and kind of enjoy this world of kind of this weird and, looming world. And I'm excited to see what the second one has to offer. Ablaze has been putting out some pretty decent books lately, at least in my opinion. This is one that I just thought that I would talk about, as I think that people might need to check this one out because I think there could be some good stuff for this, especially if you are into kind of that like weird horror, psychological style book. Now, normally in the middle of this, I usually break it up with having a guest. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am kind of behind, and work's been pretty busy, so I haven't been pushing out to try and get people on here as a guest. So if you watch this video and you enjoy kind of that guest segment, I would love to have some people on. But I'm going to make a quick pitch during the guest thing to kind of help with this. So this is where I'm going to kind of get into those number ones. And there are 2 number ones that Blake and I have been talking about that we're going to review this coming Tuesday on Blake and Cole Read a Book, our new ongoing Tuesday review. We usually like to give a book away while we do this. So one of the things that I wanted to ask the audience is, what kind of a thing would you like for that? Would you rather have us do trade reviews where we review a full trade, maybe an hour-long issue, or would you rather have us do a single issue where we kind of focus on a number 1 brand new issue before it comes out to really let people know what they should be expecting from the series? For this week, we're kind of still figuring out which one we want to do, and we're kind of in between 2 different books. The first one is Bonding, a Parasitic Romance. This is from Matthew Ehrman, Emily Pearson, colorist Kaylee Birch, and letterers Justin Birch. This is a Vault straight to graphic novel book. So it's pretty cool, and I think it's kind of this new thing that Vault's starting to do. So I think this one could be fun. It is a romance story, which might not be my bag, but sometimes, you know, you got to change up what you read. The other book we're thinking about doing is there's a new Image book coming out called Blood Tree #1. This is from writer Peter J. Tomasi, artist Maximum Simkin, and yeah, it's one of those books where Peter Tomasi doesn't do a ton of indie books. He's mainly focused. He's done a ton of stuff at DC, and he's a great writer. I know that there is kind of some stuff, but I thought that he was supposed to have another book out called like The Sniper and the Bullet. That's probably not the actual name, but something like that. But Peter Tomasi is actually one of the people that I kind of, when I got back into comics for the second time, I was really focused on his Black Adam run. Was one of the books that I read just because I saw this cover of Black Adam holding his dead wife, I think, and yeah, that cover was kind of haunting and chilling, and I was like, that's compelling, I want to read that. So I think these are both probably pretty good books, but you know, we're going to review one of them. I just kind of wondered, what would people prefer? Would they like a shorter episode where we dig into a #1 that's coming out the previous Wednesday, or talk about graphic novels or trades for stuff that's coming out also that following day? So I might be a little biased, but I will say that might be one of the best looking guests that I've had on all season long. What do you guys think? Let me know. Sorry, that was silly. I know. I was me. I didn't really actually have a guess, but I just wanted to call myself handsome. So the next book that we have up on these #1s is going to be Where Monsters Lie #1. This is from Dark Horse Comic. It's from writer Kyle Stark with artist Petra Kolosky. And yeah, I really, really liked what Kyle Starks did in Trigger Keaton. And there's just a bunch of books. I Hate This Place was also another great book that he did. I kind of enjoyed Rock Candy Mountain. It wasn't my favorite thing, but I think Kyle Starks is becoming one of those authors that when he puts out a book, I'm going to give it a look. I really like what Dark Horse has to offer on most of these kind of series that they decide to pick up. So I think this just seems like a home run overall. This book only has 2 covers, the A cover that you've seen and this B cover. So there's probably not going to be a ton of cover stuff that I'm going to show off. But overall, I think that this is probably going to be a fun book, and hopefully it's something that I really enjoy. The next book up is Black Tape #1. This is from AWA. This is writer Dan Panasayan and artist Dalibor Talajic. I don't know too much about this, but I'm going to read the blurb because I think this sounds kind of cool. Jack King was a rock and roll god who projected a stage persona on par with the devil. After Jack dies on stage, his widow Cindy grappled with grief and struggles to protect his legacy, unaware that she is being surrounded by dark forces that covet the master tape to Jack's final unreleased album, a heavy metal masterpiece that might just open a doorway to hell. This sounds pretty sweet. So we've got this main cover. There is also a 1/15 black and white version. We have the B cover, which I'm not super a fan with, but this kind of has a slight resemblance to that first Cable book. And then there's this homage to a metal album. I think this is like a Black Sabbath thing. I don't know. Let me know. I'm probably completely wrong, but let me know what metal album this homages. And hey, let me know one of your favorite metal albums. Mine personally is probably Colors by Between the Buried and Me, but that is probably not an album that everyone would just really enjoy listening to. And my final #1 of this week is going to be Breath of Shadows #1. This is coming out from IDW Publishing. It is from writer Rich Duick, artist Alex Cormack, and I really liked what they did on Sea of Sorrows, so I'm just going to be all in on this. They also did the book Road of Bones, which was also a fantastic, gripping horror book. I'm assuming that this is a horror book coming out just from the creative team, but I really didn't want to read the synopsis because I just kind of want to go into this one pretty open-minded. As you can see from the cover, though, there is a dude screaming for what appears to be his life, so I'm guessing that this is definitely going to go down that same route. Once again, these have been my top picks for February 1st, 2023. I would love to know what book is going to be your most anticipated comic, whether it is a trade, just a cover that you're pumped to have, or an actual issue that really is going to make you happy. I would love to hear what other people are looking forward to reading, because that's one of the reasons why I do this channel. I like talking about comics and figuring out what type of comics other people are into. If you think I got it wrong, I'd love to hear how. And yeah, I think, these are some of the books I'm looking forward to. I think overall this week seemed a little bit lighter than normal, but it was pretty number one heavy, which I do like sometimes, but can also be kind of a daunting task to make sure you figure out which books you want to keep and which books you do not want to keep. So as always, I have been Cole. Thank you all for stopping by. If you have not already hit that like button, please do so, and peace.
Most anticipated comic books. Most anticipated comic books from Cole.